And I don't think it costs, I don't know how much, but maybe 50,000, 60,000. I think it's money well spent,
It's not
unfortunately.
50 or 60,000, believe me.
Okay, 100,000,
It's more
it's
than that.
certainly well worth if it had been implemented. Back in '98, there was a lot of money around.
Well, how much do you think to implement everything that document would cost?
Well, now, wait a minute, you got to prioritize based on the money that you can get. But certainly,
Okay,
if,
so, Mr. Monaco, in that document, what, in your opinion, should we have implemented that we haven't? In order for us to answer the question.
well, again, speaking from 1998, a big part of it was the Delaware River development area,
Mhm.
that area right there.
Mhm.
That sounds like that would have done a lot for this town.
Mhm.
Community center, you probably would move this building over there. There's a lot, and believe it or not, there was plenty of money available.
Okay.
According to this document, I'm taking this document at face value.
Mhm. And do you think that we did not go out, try to make those things happen?
I don't know
How long have you lived in this town?
Since '77.
What do you know about what we tried to do on the waterfront with Petty's Island, okay,
Well,
and the rest of the waterfront? Do you
Well,
know anything about that?
I know that there was an attempt to do something, but I don't know if it was in accordance with the master plan. I didn't have the master plan at the time.
Well, I'll tell you what, do a little bit more research and then come on back, because we could spend hours explaining to you tonight what that document is a guide. We spent years here, blood, sweat, and tears, hashing that out, talking that, getting developers in, trying to get things to do, dealing with the state on Petty's Island, okay? It's well documented, and, you know, just because things are written down in a piece of paper doesn't mean it happens like that. The driving force with that document and making that work is money, okay? And you're saying there was a ton of money available back then, okay?
I'm just taking whatever it says.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
Times were good, this,
Yeah.
that, whatever.
Yeah.
And we tried to coordinate and get all that and get people to invest money in here to do that, to build things. And guess what? One of the best things that happened to us and to this town, okay, was the economic fall that happened, because we'd have 2,000 to 2,500 homes out there that nobody would be buying. It would be like Garden State Park right now, okay? So we did a lot of the stuff, had a lot of plans, had big ideas and big plans for the waterfront. We still do, and they haven't died yet. We're still discussing about doing smaller partials, this, that, whatever. But you know what the big part is? Money. Money.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
2011 is much different than 1998.
Okay, and if we go to raise taxes, to buy property out there, and to build houses up, this, that, whatever, you would probably be one of the first people in here screaming, saying, what are you doing raising my taxes? That's the only available way we can get money right now, and we're not going to do that to develop the waterfront right now in this economic and downturn in the real estate market. So read the document. You want to sit down, I'll have our CFO, Ron Crane, here to explain some of the things, Ed Krahusky to explain some of the things, go over that document or whatnot, but there's a lot more to it than what you're presenting here today. That's all.
I just said, I got it the other day, I just started to look at it, my basic question was, how do you start implementing this thing? How do you coordinate between the zoning board, the planning board, and your group? How does all that begin to work? You've got this document, you've approved this document back in 1998, what happened next, or what was?
They did a feasibility plan. They hired a planner from the city of Philadelphia, who was well-known throughout the country, who came up with a feasibility plan to see if the plan could even be implemented and how it could be implemented. Came back and told you what could be built, what could be built, how it could be built. Then you had to go find yourself a developer, which they did. They found a developer who had deep pockets. And in all kinds of situations, we spent a lot of money, spent a lot of years, spent a lot of time working with that, negotiating with all the landowners along that river, except for homeowners, industrial landowners.
Right. Yeah, it talks about Texas.
Okay?
And a few other things.
And guess what? The environmentalists came in and blew the whole deal up. And by them blowing it up, it stopped the whole job. And after it was over and Petty's Island, everything went away.
Because Petty's
That's
Island
been
was the
going on
diamond
since-
in the rough.
I came here in 2003, and that's when it kicked off. Because when the plan was written in '98, you just don't instantly start it. It has to go through its iterations and go through. But that's been the history of that document. And there's about 4,000 pounds of paper to back it up.
I believe that. I work for the government. I know what you're saying.
Go ahead, Brad.
Short question, I saw the agenda here.
Just state your name and address again, please.
Brad Davis, 4613 Alice Court. I see from the agenda that the memorialization of the dedicated speech for Maple College is not listed here. Though it was not understood the last session that it would happen. If I can't read the resolution, I don't see it there.
That's right. Yeah, what's this?
We haven't, there's many streets that have never been memorialized that the township has ownership of.
But you made a reference in the last sessions that you would
It's under
memorialize the
discussion.
resolution specifically.
You can have it in the minutes of meeting, you would have it in the minutes of meeting.
Short meeting.
It's supposed to be resolved by a document. I haven't done it
Okay, it will be done.
It's in the discussion.
It's in the discussion. Yeah, it's in the discussion part.
Yes, we know, I saw it.
Okay. All right, any other questions, so we can move on?
Mr. Mayor, Joanne Young, 6582 Park Avenue, just real quick. We had asked a while ago your position with the police and the county and all that. Now that it's becoming a big issue in the county, I just wondered, has anything changed on the position of the committeemen here? Or are you still, they would have to present something really wonderful for us to even
A couple of things.
I just wondered if
No, it's a good
anything
question.
changed.
Here's the deal. The county hasn't put anything out concrete whatsoever.
Okay.
There's absolutely nothing there. A lot of sound bites, a lot of whatever you want to call it.
Okay.
We're taking a position here, we're going to keep an open mind and look at it. If they come in with some wonderful thing, okay, that's going to save the world and we can have the same protection or better protection than we have now, I think this township committee would consider it. But until that day happens, I'm very happy with our police department, I'm very happy with the protection we have, and, you know, it's good as far as I'm concerned. Is that a fair statement, gentlemen?
They haven't given us
Anything.
anything, not a
Okay.
feasibility study, not a pro forma, nothing,
Is-
other than the sound bites that you read in the paper,
Right.
that all sounds good. There is all talk, no substance,
Is-
nothing to
is
make
it-
an evaluation.
Is there anything that you know of that forces you to be part of that? Or even that's still not even, we're not even there that, at their end of it?
I don't know how they could force us into something when we don't have any background, any plan, any layout, anything there, this, that, whatever, so.
Good, that's good to know, okay. Thank you very much.
It's frustrating when you hear all this stuff in the news, this,
Sure.
that, whatever.
That's why I asked.
You're not the only one, we get asked every day.
I'm sure it's one of the
You're
big
not
ones, okay.
All right, let's try this.
I'm sorry, just a real short. Mr. Knive is the deputy mayor right now. Will he automatically become mayor next year, or is that something that?
It's not
the council
automatic.
still- Okay, it's not automatic.
Matter council, and we.
Would you like me to be,
I think so.
I mean, I just want to
Yeah, please. Okay, thank you.
They say that's one from one. Yeah.
John, you can start today. All right, resolutions. The public may comment. All right, 2011-222, Gene.
A resolution authorizing an interlocal services agreement by and between the Township of Pennsauken and the Borough of Merchantville relative to the purchase of diesel fuel by and for the Borough of Merchantville.
Mhm.
Move it.
Second.
Okay, roll call, please.
Any questions?
Oh, I'm sorry, any questions? You guys got a single name, somebody. Okay. Seeing no one from the public, roll call, please.
Mr. Figueroa?
Yes.
Mr. Knight?
Yes.
Mr. Orr? Yes. Mr. Taylor?
Yes.
Mayor Kelly?
Yes. Resolutions, public may comment, 2011-223. And these following resolutions can be considered adopted by consent agenda. Go ahead, Gene.
223 is granting renewal of liquor licenses for the year 11 and 12. These are just a couple that needed rulings from the state. one needed a ruling and one, we're waiting for a tax clearance, and the other one came in a little late.
But everything's hunky dory?
Everything's fine, yes.
Yes, okay.
224 is authorizing the Township Committee acting as the redevelopment authority to set certain operational standards for a thrift store at 6575 Madison Avenue. This was discussed a couple of meetings ago.
These are the terms and conditions
Yes.
about dropping and signage and
Correct.
all that.
225 is resolution of the Township of Pennsauken in support for the responsible pet ownership programs in the community.
That's Sustainable Society, that's for our Sustainable Society.
And that's it.
All right, roll call, please.
Your motion?
A motion and a second,
So
gentlemen?
moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Question?
Oh, I'm sorry, whose question, name and address?
No, I just.
Oh, no questions, I'm sorry.
You were.
Mr. Figueroa? Yes. Mr. Ganati?
Yes.
Mr. Ward?
Yes.
Mr. Taylor?
Yes.
Mayor Kimball?
Yes. Okay, all right. Conference items of discussion. Before we go to them, I just want to announce that we have the county National Hispanic Heritage Month. It's going to be in October, and they're looking for nominations for the National Hispanic Award. So if we know anybody in the community, you know, want to nominate, I got paperwork here, if this, that, whatever, and we can do it. You guys are well versed in that, from doing it for years, okay? And at the end of these, I just want to add number 5, recycling, discuss the recycling thing.
Yeah, I have it written down.
All right, good, I just want to make sure you had it. Okay, Gino, I don't know, it's a discussion of
Yes.
businesses?
Mr. Cardwell and Mr. Carr.
Okay. Gentlemen, what do you got?
Okay, the first one we have is a company called Platinum Jewelers. They'd like to lease the property at 4901 Westfield Avenue. There used to be Liberty Tax in there, primarily right across the street from Rite Aid on Westfield Avenue. They have one other New Jersey location, that's at the shopping center at Springdale Road and Eastham Road in Cherry Hill, and they also have 6 stores in Philadelphia right now. So this will be the second one in New Jersey.
How big is the area?
It's a little over 1,100 square foot.
Gentlemen,
Sounds good.
everybody okay? Anybody opposed? All right, go ahead, number 2.
Number 2 is a company called Irit Sales Corporation. They're presently on Marcrest Road in Cherry Hill. They want to buy the office building at 9285 Commerce Highway, right off of Route 130. What used to be in front of it was Dominic's Pizza. And of course, that's been torn down.